Welcome po. Welcome to LIRA in Law. Thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Abogado po ako dito sa UK. I am a qualified practicing solicitor in the United Kingdom. I have now been in practice for 34 years. Yeah, 34 years. Actually, 34 and a half. No. So by next year, my gosh, by next year, 35 years post-qualification experience, which means it doesn't even include the training and the studies. No, if you add those years, which total to 6 years, then I have been doing this, been in law for 4 decades. So I've been doing this a long time, and I hope that I'm able to assist you. But I say again, unang-una po, kung nalilito kayo, and some of our questions nga, as usual, great quality. Pero kung nalilito nga kayo, nothing beats independent legal advice. I can try and point you hopefully nga in the right direction. But of course, hindi ko alam lahat ng mga background. And it's important for you to be able to say nga what your full background is. You're able to show them your documents nga, no? And also they're able to ask you questions, because it can be small things, but it can have a massive difference nga to the advice that you get. So ang payo ko po, if you're at all in doubt, even if you think na yung kaso nyo is simple nga lang, I wouldn't necessarily base the need for advice on that basis, because it could be that you think it's simple, but it's actually not. But to be frank, even simple cases can go badly wrong, and that and one of our topics nga ngayon deals with exactly that kind of case in point. So, but nevertheless, as I say, it's I hope that I'm able to assist you tonight, and that we're able to discuss ngayon questions. And what questions do we have? Ang dami, and really, it never ceases to amaze me how interesting questions are. Well, actually, it should not really amaze me, because generally life, my clients are interesting, so never a dull moment in immigration, and actually at the other areas of law that I practice in. So it is usually, and as tonight is no different. It's the questions are challenging, but they're very relevant. They're not kind of sometimes with academic exercises. They're quite very so unusual, the questions that really you kind of wonder whether they would have they would apply in other than, say, academic circumstances. But what we do dito nga, our LIRA in Law show nga, very much is the opposite to that. We will be dealing with relevant issues, so problems, concerns that affect real people, and some are complex because the specific provisions are complex, but others are complex just because there's so many things that apply. But that's kind of the nature of the beast, as they would say. It's you need to be able to distill the issues and actually see ang tawag nila dito, the woods for the trees. That's what they say, because it's just sometimes it can be so confusing. But you need to be able to, of course, focus and determine what are the issues, and hopefully in the course of that be able to assist. Anyway, so that is when you see a solicitor, that is their aim. So kung nalilito nga kayo, and frankly, kahit hindi kayo nalilito, ang payo ko, nothing beats independent legal advice. I say again. Anyway, so tonight po, ang pag-uusapan natin, so ito, what if you submitted the wrong application? I know usually yung mga topics nga natin, it kind of it's perhaps less general than that. But the question is exactly that point, no? You submit an application, then later on, it turns out, or at least you think, maling pinasok nyo. What do you do? No, so sabihin natin, there are different scenarios with that. It could be that you submitted the wrong application and then realized it in time before the decision is made. It could be that you submit your application and then you realize after the decision is made by the Home Office nga, that's the wrong application. What happens then? If you realize that you submit the wrong application and no decision has been made yet, ano kailangan yung gawin? No? So it's a great question. And this viewer, in fact, even copied, no, and posted nga, as part of the question the issue, no, the decision of the Home Office. So it's clearly a very well thought out question, and as I say, it's also an issue that's relevant. It is truly not uncommon for people to make submit the wrong application just because there are so many. You know? And from those application forms also, it could also be that it's not clear kung anong ang kailangang pasok. You know? So it happens, and it happens unfortunately regularly. So it's a great question. Pero hindi lang yung topic natin nga ngayon. We're also going to be dealing with visit visa applications. I'll have a lot of visit visa application questions actually. Then maybe because it's summertime, schools out, and a lot of people thinking about holidays. Although I think holidays sa atin sa Pinas, it's different time. But I have a lot of visit visa applications, also to do with dependent visa applications where it's a skilled worker. No, another great one. I must say, I was toggling between a couple of questions, the star questions. So skilled worker visa nga, what happens if the main applicant already got indefinite leave to remain? What does that do to the dependents? No, again, a very common situation, pero nakakalito. No? So we're also going to see about tackling that. So ang dami nating questions nga ngayon. And I hope that you stay with me and you bear with me. And I hope that I'm not in the meantime melting before your eyes. Because today is a very, very hot Thursday in London. No. Well, actually the whole of the United Kingdom. I have two fans. If you hear that buzzing, it's because I have two fans going at the same time. But that's clearly not stopping the heat. It is so warm today. Not that I'm complaining, especially those of you, who are kind enough to tune in from the Philippines, or we have viewers also from the Middle East, or actually all over, really. It's very hot everywhere. So it's so I'm not complaining. I am actually, but I won't complain. I won't continue complaining, I should say. So it is jam-packed tonight, and it's always great to be with you, especially the special thanks to those who posted their questions. And don't forget, kung gusto nyo kamustahin, batiin please do. That's the bit I look forward to most. And of course, that we will not skip. Well, we will skip tonight just because we have so many questions. And I would like to and they're quite involved questions. What we will skip is yung commercial natin. So we're going to work through, as they say, no lunch. Now, so let me just read to you the question from which I took out our topic what if you submitted the wrong application? So itong question niya. Hello po, sabi niya, need ko lang po ng advice. Naka-spouse visa na po ako. Nag-apply kami for an extension, further leave to remain. Okay? Pero mukhang mali po yata ang visa route na nasubmit ng asawa ko. Instead of the FLR application na intended namin, ito pong result na natanggap namin. And she actually posted it in the morning. So sabi niya din, ask ko lang po, based on the letter na ito, under the 5-year family route, pa rin pa bang visa ko o nailipat na under the private life route? Tapos it very cleverly posted the section because this makes a difference, no? Kung yung mga questions nga, dahil makikita ko nga dito, ano ba talagang sinabi nila yung Home Office I'm talking about. So let me just read to you the thing from the Home Office. So sabi niya dito, let me just see if I can go over there. So ito galing to sa Home Office. This is a snippet from the refusal decision nga that the Home Office sent, no, replied. So sabi niya, on the 18th of November 2025, we applied for permission to stay in the UK under Appendix Long Residence. Okay, I emphasize that because that's relevant. I'm writing to tell you that your application has been refused as you do not meet the requirements for a grant of permission on this basis. The reasons for permission to stay in the UK under the Appendix Long Residence is set out in the reasons for decision section. I've considered whether you meet the requirements of the family or private life routes, or if you have any exceptional circumstances to warrant a grant of permission, and decided that you do. Okay? You have therefore been granted permission to stay in the UK based on your family life as a partner. Okay? You've been granted permission to stay in the UK for 24 months, expiring on the 4th of May 2028. Okay? So may visa siya. So, tingnan natin yung mga question niya. So sabi niya, okay, nagkamali bang application na pinasok nila? Yun ang unang-una. Now, kung nagkamali sila, ano ba nangyari? No? So under family life route, under the spousal route, the partner route, it's 5 years to get to indefinite leave to remain. Pinalitan na ba? So binigyan siya visa, pero ibang visa binigay sa kanila, no? Sa kanya. So let me just give you a little bit of background. I mean, I'm assuming, again, this is another issue nga. Kung nalilito kayo, you should seek independent legal advice because you can't, because of the limitations in time nga, and of course the information, you will have to make certain assumptions. So, but assumptions are exactly that. They're assumptions. They may not be correct, but nevertheless, I'll take the liberty and make certain assumptions nga nito. So, dumating ka dito, spouse visa ang pagpasok mo. Now, you then applied for an extension. So, natapos mo na yung unang-unang 2.5 years. Well, actually, 33 months na binigay sa'yo. Nagpasok ka ng extension, so yung, the second extension, which if you complete under the spousal route, ibig sabihin 5 taon na, no? Pagka natapos na yon. Pagka 5 taon na, pagka 5 taon na kayo, as a spouse, usually, you should be able to then make an application for indefinite leave to remain because you've done the 2 years, the two lots of 2.5 years, no? The probationary period. So 5 years nga, then you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain, usually. You know? Now, that's the background. But that is, of course, under, as you've said here, a 5-year family route. So ang nangyari, you think, and I'm in agreement with you here, may nangyari, nagkamali. So, ano ba ginawa ng Home Office? Nagdesisyon, binigyan ka pa ng visa, pero anong klaseng visa binigay sa'yo? And does that mean na there are consequences to that? The answer is absolutely. So let me go through the issues, no? So unang-unang tamag nga niya is a question niya was it the right application, no? Now before I answer that, and I will, no, let me just take you through the main types of applications. FLR, sabi nga yung question niya, that means further leave to remain. It just means exactly that, further leave to remain. So an extension of the type of visa that you have. But it doesn't stop at FLR. To distinguish it, it usually is FLR, in this case, LR. You know, sabi no, that means FLR, LR means for long residence. So those people who've been in the United Kingdom, let's say for 10 years, lawfully, no? So that's FLR, LR, ang tawag. FLR, M, that's in brackets, yung M, no? For extending stay as a spouse, for example, civil partner, a married partner, ganon. So a partner under the partner, M for marriage, basically, but of course, matrimonial, no? So, and then there's something called FLR-FP, no? FP stands for family private life, Those are applications based on family life, such as a parent of a child living in the UK for 7 years, or private life routes. So those people who are extending up based on their private life, towards the 10 years, for example. And then there's something called FLRHRO, which is to do with human rights applications, human rights claims, leave outside the standard immigration rules, or if you like, circumstances that are not covered elsewhere. And tawag doon FLRHRO, And then there's something called FLRIR, that is extending temporary stays in specific certain categories, such as, say, UK ancestry, domestic work visa, or visitors even. You can't actually generally extend as a visit visa, but if you were looking to extend your visit visa, it would be that form. But that has a different problem. Okay, so and then there's something called FLRAF, to do with armed forces. AF stand for armed forces. So FLR doesn't really tell you much. FLR is the first bit. Ang kailangan nyo makita, if FLR what? You need to also know the letter in the brackets. Now, I think ang pinasok nyo is FLR LR, which is for the long residence route, because they actually say here, you made an application under appendix long residence, okay, set out, and then that's in the second paragraph, long residence. So I think ang pinasok nyo mistakenly was this FLRLR. What should probably have been submitted is this FLRM, that is to extend your visa as a partner, as a spouse. So I'm guessing, and I think this is probably correct, that it was the wrong application. Now, what does that mean? Okay, you made a mistake. Clearly, that was not what was intended, but that was the application that was submitted. What does that mean now? Looking at the limited information na pinost mo nga, I think what they probably then did is, okay, nagkamaling application, hindi nga to tama. You have no basis for grant of leave to remain and under the long residence route, but nandito ang pamilya mo, nandito ang asawa mo, meron kayong mga anak nga, nandito ka. So, bibigyan ka namin ng visa. Pa rin, now, in doing that, when the Home Office refuse an application because they don't think you satisfy all the conditions required by that route, but then they say, well, nandito pamilya mo, that usually means, not always, but usually it means they have switched over to switch you over rather to the 10-year route. It's still family, private life route, but you need to show 10 years. The reason for that is they say, well, okay, you don't satisfy it, but we're going to exercise our discretion in your favor. We're doing you a favor. We're going to exercise the discretion in your favor, and we're going to grant you visa anyway. But the payback is mas mahaba ang kailangan yung pakita, before you get indefinite leave to remain. So I think you're right, that napalitan nga yung visa mo from that of a spouse to that under the family, private life route, but family life route, but 10 years. So whereas before, 5 years na kailangan pakita, now you may find that's actually now 10 years ang kailangan pakita. Let me give you a hint on this. When you're dealing with these types of applications, ask for your file, your Home Office file from the Home Office. It's a subject access request. I don't know actually whether there's a fee. There was a fee, but I can't remember now whether there's still the fee. But the fee before was something like £7.50. So you can ask for your file from the Home Office, and they have to give you a copy of your your data, as in computer-held file, within 40 working days. So they can take up to 2 months to give it to you. but at least you have it. Makikita mo doon it what was actually looked at, no? And it could be then it may then confirm what you already, I think, which is that your application was swapped over, or your leave to remain was swapped from a spouse visa to that under the family life route pa rin, but a different kind. The main difference usually between the two is it goes from 5 years to get indefinite leave to remain to 10 years. That obviously doble, no? And that can be not just costly, but it can change people's plans, because some people make a plan nga with a view to, pagka-indefinite na sila, or indeed when they become naturalized, it doubles, the time. Now, looking at the indefinite leave to remain, that's really what's been compromised substantially. Dahil unang-una nga, you can still work, no? The type of employment you can undertake is exactly the same. Pwede ka ding self-employed, employed, part-time, many part-time, one full-time, ganon, you see. So there's no limit as to the type of employment you can undertake, even if it's swapped over. You can still go on holiday and come back without needing a new visa to come back. No, the proving your status in the UK is still the same. That is by way of an e-visa. So it's substantially not the same, but for the fact that you go from 5 years to get indefinite leave to remain to 10 years to get to indefinite leave to remain, which can be problematic, as I say. Now, what happens now? So if you were granted if your visa was changed from the 5 years to 10 years, then it means effectively that you actually need another. You need another 7.5 years. Well, usually you can't actually add the spouse visa na nakuha nyo na, the 2.5 years. But there's another route under the private life, which is coincidentally also 10 years. So there, kailangan yung pakita that you've been in the United Kingdom for a total of 10 years. So not necessarily 10 years under the family life route. Because if you're going to follow the family life route 10 years, that means it's start over, 10 years. So it could be that it adds another, effectively 7.5 years if you're relying on the 10-year long residence route. Which is obviously a long time. Or you can swap over your visa to that of a spouse, but again there, you have to start again because it has to be continuous. No breaks leave to remain as a spouse, which means that there's already a break na nga ngayon. So however you turn it, the route to indefinite leave to remain has lengthened. So it's a common problem. I know you're going to beat yourself up about it, but unang-una nga, before you do that, it could be that check nga, get your file from the Home Office. That way you can also check, nagkamali ba kayo? Because I wouldn't necessarily take it as gospel that you made a mistake. The Home Office makes mistakes. I know that for a fact. And so get a copy of your file, yung unang-una. And then payo ko, frankly, you should see a solicitor who will go through the data with you. And from there, pag nakita nyo, get it, and then you'll see what I mean. When you see it, magulo, it doesn't really follow any dates, it's halo nga, so but you do get used to it. I certainly have read so many subject access files that I can make sense of it, and whoever you see should be able to also make sense of it. But they will be focused with, okay, was the application actually wrong? Because it could be not wrong. If they're right that you submitted the wrong application, what did they do? Did they actually change you over from 5 years to 10 years? So getting the file will give you clarity. And as I say, a problem now is to fix the problem doesn't get away from you can't get it back. No? The fact that if kung tama nga sila, you can't go back to being able to just being required to show 5 years leave to remain as a spouse. That ship has sailed, no? But you can see what you about limiting the damage nga yon. Which great pity because oftentimes mga tao they don't say see solicitors or get legal help because they can't afford it. No, it can be costly legal assistance nga. But in when things go wrong, if things go wrong nga, it can be more costly because now you're looking at an extra potentially doble. No, so you're not looking at the 5 years, you're looking at essentially 10 years. So that means twice the amount of home office fees, twice the amount of IHS fees. And they can be crippling because the home office fees quite a bit already. But the IHS fees, they're a lot. No? So kung hindi nga lang kayo mag-isa, if you have a family, you're looking at thousands of pounds. No? So yeah, I'm sorry that it's truly not an unusual position, but it can happen. Now, I know you didn't ask this, but just from this question again, what happens if nagpasok kayo ng application pero hindi pa tapos hindi pa sila nagbibigay ng decision and you spot your question? Can you still do something about it? Potentially is yes. Not all applications can be varied, no, but you can. Oh, there's a possibility of doing that. So basically, nagpasok ka ng application, nalaman mo na mali yung pinasok. As long as the application is still pending, you can vary that existing application as long as no decision has yet been made. So it's if it's too late, as in your case, then it means you need to make a new application, means new fees. No? Now, distinguish that though. So varying your application because the wrong application to say nagbago nga ang sitwasyon nyo, that it does not require a variation of an application, but it's just new factors. So for example, typically it would be things like you've got married, no? So you may have made an application under the unmarried spouse route. You've been together for 2 years, you've submitted some evidence of that, but maybe incomplete, or you don't feel comfortable that it's actually complete, and then you marry. No? Kailangan sabihin sa home office fairly quickly na kinasal nga kayo. So that way the home office will look at the new factors in conjunction with the old, and make a decision on the full facts. Because then you're married, they don't need to worry about where you're living together for 2 years or more. No? So it's important that you take the step to correct your situation if you know or you think you've made a mistake. Because otherwise, this kind of, they make a decision, they don't at least refuse it fully, but they nevertheless refuse it. But it does affect the length of time you can then make an application. Gone are the days when the home office, and this probably shows my age, no? Tatandaan ko pa rin, time ago when the home office would call me, no? And I could call them. That's years ago now, no? And it was there you got, I did think, I mean, I still do, no? You got things done more quickly. Ang problema nga ngayon, ang problema, kung may problema, they write to you if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, they will just refuse. That's why it's so important, especially na ngayon, get it right first time. But if you're lucky enough that they raise it with you, and with some guidance, they should, no? and they say, well, okay, what about this? No, kulang pa nito, or what's happened to this information nga. So they may seek clarification. But by the time you receive that letter, usually by email, which at least is faster, but not always. Sometimes I still get it by post, but usually na by email. It still then means you need to prepare a reply, and then you need to submit it. So it adds to the delay. So I think that's partly the reason why there's so much delay. So if you submit, so for my office, if we submit an inquiry or a reply to an inquiry, say 10, 20 a week, you multiply that by the number of applicants nga, no? Not necessarily just from solicitors, then you're looking at an awful lot. But if you just, in the past, if you can make a phone call, and I've had, as I say, I miss those days. I really, really do, because you can discuss the case also. No, they can ask you questions that occur to that come about because of your replying. So things got done faster. Anyway, I reminisce. I absolutely reminisce. More so at the moment than before. So yun. So just to summarize, ang kailangan mong gawin, unang-una, ngayon na nga, because at least you got a visa, get your file, subject access request. If you just Google it, subject access request, Home Office, no? You will then be taken to the relevant section on kailangan pakita. You need to provide some kind of ID. I think there's a fee, but I just can't remember what it is now. And you need to complete a form, and then you submit that. And normally within 40 working days, so about 2 months, you get your documents. They will email it to you, okay? And then basahin mo, kung nalilito kayo, and I wouldn't be surprised, because it can be really confusing, the data. Get a solicitor. Ask them if they can provide you advice on a fixed fee interview, for example. No, so that okay, may pagbayad nga for that one interview. And if you have someone fairly experienced, or then they may be able to actually say, okay, they may be able to answer your question fairly quickly. You may want to send to them the documents, but it could be that they say, oh, I can't do this in a fixed fee because it'll take me half an hour to read it because ang kapal, no? But get advice. But unang-una nga, get a copy of your file. You can do that by way of making a subject access request. Now, I'm so sorry that took a while. I think it's I like that question for so many reasons, because as I say, it's so relevant that it's a scenario that is not at all unusual, and mistakes happen, understandably. So what the thing is, okay, how do you is it fixable? No, and if it's fixable, how do you do that? If it's not fixable, what do you do to limit the damage? And I think here it's probably the second thing. What can you do to limit the damage? But first, establish kung nagtama nga sila. All right? Good luck. Let me know what happens, yeah? I hope. I say this all the time, but truly, it's like reading a book and not knowing how it ends. I'd like to know how it ends. Now, I think we have other questions. We're not going to take a break. We're going to zoom right through. Sandali nga ito. So, okay. So, sabi niya, ito. Hello po, may question lang po ako. May 2-year standard visa po ako. Last year, 2 beses po akong nagstay sa UK ng halos 6 months each. Tapos, 2 weeks lang ang stay sa Pilipinas bago ko bumalik. So, 6 months, balik siya sa atin, balik na naman siya dito, no? Pinapasok naman po ako ng immigration both times. This year naman, nagstay muna ako ng Pilipinas ng 6 months bago bumalik sa UK. Mag-e-expire na po ang visitor visa ko this December 2026. Ask ko lang po, pwede na po ba kaming mag-apply agad ng fiancé visa after nito? O pwede pa rin bang mag-apply ulit ng bagong visitor visa? May possibility po bang maging issue ang previous travel history ko, sabi niya. Maybe is the answer, okay? So, una to. So, this visa siya, 2 years ang binigay sa kanya. Hindi naman ibig sabihin 2-year visa na dito kasi for 2 years. It's 6 months at any given time. Okay, 6 months lang po. But it's not 6 months from January to December. Someone was telling me they were religiously noting the dates that they've been away because they didn't want to exceed nga the 6 months. And sabi ko sa kanila, no, that's not how it works. It's 6 months from per entry nga. No? Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have an issue though. Dahil kung lagi ka nandito, then next time or one of the times you come back to the UK, they may say, well, hang on, are you using the visit visa as a back route to actually living in the UK? Then you may have a problem. So you're right to be concerned. No? So sabi mo, now you have an option because you say so, no? Sabi mo, pwede ba kayo mag-apply agad ng fiancé after nito? You don't actually need to wait for your visit visa to expire. You don't have to use your visit visa. So kung plano nyo nga, gusto mo na dito, no? So ang balak dito kayo magpapakasal, so pasok ka dito sa fiancé, magkakasal na kayo, papalitan mo yung fiancé visa to the spouse, do that. No? You don't have to wait for the visit visa to expire. Now, at the same time, kung hindi pa kayo handa, I was dealing with actually a couple of days ago. So nandito nga yung girlfriend as a visitor. I mean, they think they may, take it to the next step, but they were both a bit coy about it, which was quite sweet actually. And that's fine, no? In which case, fiancé visa is clearly not the route. So it had to be a visit visa. And that's so you can make an application for visit visa. But yung nga lang, if the idea is that you want to stay here because you then want to live together, you want to get married, nga in the UK, then visit visa is not the right route unless it's a marriage visit visa, no? Because alam niyo na, kung kayo lagi kayong sumusubaybay, there are different types of even visitor visa, no? So it goes really into the intention. So if you're looking to marry in the United Kingdom, tapos visit visa marriage, you can do that, but then you need to go back, to the Philippines nga, and then make an application from the Philippines for a spouse visa. Okay? So 6 months max per stay. You can still come as long as you have a visa. So until December nga, pag matatapos na. Of course, kailangan mo bumalik before it expires nga. You can apply for fiancé visa before your visit visa even expires. No, you don't need to wait. It would just supersede the visit visa nga. And yeah, as I've said, you can also make an application for a visit visa. Okay. Good luck. Let me know what happens, please. Okay. Now, let me just have a look. I'm sure we have some more questions. Great questions, no? Diba? So, okay. So this is another one. Yeah, I like this one too. Plano kong papuntahin ang long-term girlfriend ko sa UK using a standard visitor visa. Wala po siyang work for the past 3 years. Ako naman po, nasa UK under skilled worker visa, earning over £70,000 annually. Good wage. At may sufficient savings naman. Sa ganitong sitwasyon po, magiging malaking issue ba kung wala na siyang strong employment or family ties sa Pinas, no? Sapat po bang invitation letter at sponsorship ko para ma-approve ang kanyang visitor visa application? I like this question because it invites me to give you practical tips, no? Tama ka, you identified exactly what the potential issues are or part of what the potential issues are. Ties to the Philippines, either family ties or indeed financial ties. Problema nga, wala siyang trabaho. Now, it could also be, okay, nandong magulang nga niya, but otherwise not. But frankly, even family ties sometimes is not really given such weight nga by the Home Office that they are less concerned about intention. So the thing to do, and certainly what I do for my clients nga, is explain it, no? Now, explain your relationship, yun ang unang-una. So, that can be in this invitation letter na sabi mo, ako, I don't generally prepare just invitation letters. I prepare a statement. Para bang affidavit ang itsura. So it just gives it a bit more formality. Also, it gives, it gives, oftentimes they're just more substantive. So explain your relationship when you're preparing it. You can also do it by way of invitation letter, but as I say, statements, that's my usual approach. Explain your relationship. No, when did you meet? So anong sitwasyon? You are obviously in the UK, you're earning quite well. Are you supporting her? Kung nagpapadala kang pera, na may remittance ba? Provide proof, no? Explain that at the moment, you know, your relationship is that one of boyfriend and girlfriend. You may well take the next step, by that, by looking to marry, but at the moment you're not ready to take that step, and for that reason you're looking to bring her over for a visit visa. Also, dagdagan mo din, like most people in the UK, you normally have 4 weeks if you're lucky, holiday, no? Kung wala siyang trabaho, hindi siya nag-aaral din sa atin, so she can probably spend 6 months here, no? Which just means it's probably better value for money. You can even say that, because she can come, she can spend the time here for 6 months, and then she can go back. Now, you can also say, kung ako ikaw, that of course, currently you have leave to remain, limited leave to remain, as a worker in the UK. You will certainly ensure, that your girlfriend satisfies, or as far as you can, complies with the conditions, not least because you don't want that coming back to you. So you can say all of that, and and hopefully then you can persuade them. But sometimes refusals are made because insufficient explanations are given. But sometimes refusals are just made because sometimes I don't understand certain refusals. But yun. So ang tip ko, you can. She may be granted leave to remain, but your concerns are absolutely correct. You can't 100% get rid of the concerns. That is a fact, it seems. And family ties also, baka nandun magulang niya. But the thing to do is explain it. It doesn't have to be long, and please don't make a kind of melodramatic affidavit. They don't like that. Be factual. Sabihin mo din yung sahod mo, saan ka dito nakatira, ang savings mo. You don't generally need to show savings nga if you have good income, and you do. But explain it. Explain it. All right. Good luck. I hope she can come. And I hope she can come. If you make an application now, could be, they're very, very slow at the moment, but it could be that she's here for Christmas. If she's here for Christmas, definitely you must let me know. Okay. We have some more questions, so let me just have a look. Let me. All right. So my husband came to the UK as my dependent, and and his visa will expire this coming January, 2027. Kailangan po niya pa rin ng 1 year bago siya maging eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. Ako naman po, na-naturalize na akong British citizen this year. Okay, so Briton na siya. Ano pong tamang visa extension na dapat namin i-apply para sa kanya? Anong application po ang kailangan? Also, required pa bang magbayad ng IHS, Immigration Health Charge, for this extension? Medyo nalilito po kami since dependent po siya when he first came to the UK, while ako naman nag-apply ng ILR at the time. But now, not only now you actually naturalized British nga. Now, so let me just see if I can read to you something mismo nga from the Home Office. So this is from the Home Office website itself, no? Your partner and children can apply separately at a later stage. So nagpasok ng application. For example, if they're not eligible yet, because he's probably not, question mo, no? Because he's still 1 year to go before the 5 years is satisfied. They can continue to extend their visa as your skilled worker, health and care worker, or tier 2 dependent, even after you get indefinite leave to remain. It also follows even after you get naturalized. Yeah. Now, so the application you need to submit, actually try to even print it for you, but it was just an impossibility. You need to, it's online, and you need to start the application with your email address and everything else. So what I will do is If you email me, or maybe I have your email nga, I'll send to you nga the link. Tignan mo, no? So it's a link to the home office. That's where you that's where the application nga is made. So if you email me, so to remind me to send that to you, I'll send it. That's the link nga. Now, as to what to do. I mean, if he's making an application out for extension, then that will normally require IHS fee. You can't get around that usually, unless somehow you can get your IHS fee back because you are a healthcare worker, for example. So it's a possibility you can get it back if you're healthcare. But if you paid IHS before, you will still need to pay IHS. Now, ang visang bibigay sa kanya usually would be 3 years, but it doesn't mean that he needs to wait to finish it to apply. Once he's completed 5 years, assuming that that's he would qualify for ILR after 5 years nga, then you can make an application even before nga the visa expires. Okay, so you can make an earlier application. Yung nga lang, when you make that application, of course, because he's a dependent, he's now completed 5 years. Explain it also. When you submit the application, they should also know it. But normally, ako, when I'm uploading the documents, I put it with the cover letter. I make legal representations why it is that application is made so much earlier. That kung 3 years ang bibigay sa kanya, then that would mean potentially after a year, you can then make an application for ILR indefinitely to remain. I hope that's helpful to you. I really do. And please tell me what happens next. I don't know meron pa tayong mga questions. If not, I will now turn to our Batian section. If there, I think we still have time. Sisingit natin. As long as there are people who, of course, are saying hello. Guy, the great guy from London. Happy Thursday, to Attorney Lira sabi niya, and to the viewers. Worked in Canary Wharf today. Ooh, hot, But wait and watching you. I can imagine Guy, on the tube with his phone, AirPods. I'm now ambassador of Atin Siopao Asado. It's my dinner now while listening to your lovely voice. You can order on the network link I post here. Absolutely. Yeah, with your permission, please. I'm looking forward to lots of learning again. Egg Guy, the great guy. Yeah, it's I haven't got around to actually ordering from your website from that website. I will do it this weekend, and then I'll give you my critique, next week. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to. I looked at the website. May lechon. What's the other one that tinitingnan ko nga? I think there was barbecue also. But definitely the lechon looked good. I can't remember kung may adobo. I like adobo. And there was siopaw. David Calixto II. Hello, sir. I'm hailing from the Philippines. Alam ko, Magandang gabi po, Attorney Lira sabi niya. Magandang gabi, sir. I hope you're well. And I hope, I was going to say, I hope it's not so hot there. But of course, the Philippines is hot. But dito, we're at the moment truly rivaling the hot countries. It's so warm. It's so warm now. It's must not complain. And actually tonight it could be that it rains because it's looking a bit dark. The clouds. Miss Nadella. Hello, madam. Good evening, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, oh, hello. How are you? Did you take a holiday? Miss Nadella is hardworking. I don't think I've ever known Miss Nadella not working. So I hope you're able to take a break, and whoever, when you take a break, and indeed anyone who's looking to take a break, ingat kayo. Can be a bit scary out there at the moment, with everything else going on. But don't let me put you off. I should also take a break. If as and when I go on holiday, ang gagawin natin, I'm gonna continue with this. I will broadcast. I will broadcast on our usual Thursday evening so that I can say, tingnan nyo, look at my commitment, like the people are now watching from everywhere. Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones. Happy Thursday evening, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, and all viewers. Another informative topic for all of us. She's lovely, Miss Jones. If you ever have the pleasure, and it truly is a pleasure to meet Miss Jones, you will know what I mean. No, on top of the fact that she's a really good dancer. No, she's that woman can move. Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. Let me have a look if this. Oh, I love that picture. Miss Diesta. Oh, we love Miss Diesta too, of course. Good evening, Samia. Good evening, Attorney Lira, and to everyone watching. Thanks once again for sharing your inputs. I'm late joining as I made instant noodles. I'm hungry after a long day at work. What kind of instant noodles did you have, Miss Diesta? Is it the packets nga that they sell at Tesco, or is the one from Chinese? The one from the Chinese shops, yung maanghang, lovely. No, I'm like you actually. Before I came online, I was so hungry, and there was I needed something fast. Didn't want anything hot. Yeah, because it's already hot. Yeah, so I had bran flakes. Bran flakes. But there you go. There you are. These things, sometimes I have cornflakes, but tonight I had bran flakes. But so I'm looking forward to having my dinner then. Now, it's been a pleasure po as usual being with you, and salamat po for keeping me company throughout our Thursday get together nga from 7:30 onwards at LIRA in Law. Salamat po to all the Facebook groups for allowing us to post our contents on their pages. Much appreciated. Kung meron kayong mga kaibigan, kilala, no, even if our topic nga may not be applicable to you at this stage, send it to them. Sharing is caring. No? And I hope that you'll be able to also take part next week. As usual, kung meron kayong mga questions and you want me to deal with it nga, then just email it to us no later, please, than Wednesday, so I have time to prepare. No, and of course, I will try and deal with it. And you never know, no, you may get some serious bragging rights by being chosen as the star question. Otherwise, just leaves me really to say again, salamat po. Thank you very much for keeping me company. And I hope that I will see you again. I am your host, as usual, at LIRA in Law. Pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. I hope to see you next week. Same time, same place. Good night.